So I don't really have any like sci-fi movie merch, but I do have this Party Spock shirt from college, which that tells you pretty much everything you need to know about me from college. Hi, my name is Adriana and this is the Sci-Fi Movie Book Tag. I was graciously tagged for this by the lovely Ginger Bibliophile. The original tag was created by a man with a hat who reads. I will have both of their channels linked down below. Definitely go check them both out. Kind of the idea of this tag is each prompt is based off of a quotable line from a famous sci-fi movie, and you just associate a book with said sci-fi trope with the quote. I am not the biggest sci-fi reader. I have like my little baby sci-fi shelf up at the top. Like that is holding down the fort sci-fi wise. But I do think you can kind of find these tropes in a lot of other kind of speculative fiction spheres as well. Be impressed with me. I only put one James Rowland's book on this tag, which is pretty impressive because I'm pretty sure I could have used a Sigma Force novel for almost every single one of these. But without further ado, let's get started with prompt number 1, Welcome to Earth, Independence Day. This is the alien invasion trope. And like I said, I don't read a whole lot of sci-fi. Like that's not really my niche. And so I don't have anything that I can think of that is kind of the traditional alien invasion, flying saucer comes down to Earth, aliens try to take over. But I do... Stay with me here on this one. Let me grab it. I think the argument is easily made that Dune is like a post-invasion story. So I mean, the planet of Dune was colonized, aka invaded, by whatever race Paul Atreides' family is. I don't know, are they just human? I have no idea. But the indigenous people of Dune were alien invaded, were colonized, were whatever you want to call it, but Dune, alien invasion story. Also, you know, kind of a white savior story. So we got lots of tropiness going on in this one. The next prompt is Life Finds a Way from Jurassic Park. This is a novel where science runs amok. And this is one that easily could have been a Sigma Force novel, guys. But I resisted. I resisted the urge. I'm gonna go with Relic/Reliquary from Preston and Child. More so Reliquary. Relic is more of a natural element gone amok and messing with things. Reliquary, the second book, definitely like fuck around and find out with science. One person messing with science, causing lots of drama. So, Reliquary. Question number 3 is May the Odds Be Ever in Your Favor from The Hunger Games. This is a dystopian world story. This was a pretty easy one. Dystopian stories are kind of, well, they were my bread and butter of reading in high school, but I'm gonna go with something a little more highbrow and go with The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, a freaking modern classic. If you have not read this book, you need to get your act together and read it. It is a literary masterpiece. You gotta read it. It's incredible. I love this book. Dystopian world. Just read it. Just read it. Prompt number 4, These Aren't the Droids You're Looking For from Star Wars. Don't ask me which that is. I don't actually know the names of any of the Star Wars movies. The entire story of Star Wars is like one big blur movie in my mind. It's just all Star Wars. So specifically the title of what movie this is, no clue. Couldn't tell you. But this prompt is a novel about robots. I don't particularly have anything that I've read right now that's about robots, but I will be reading In the Lives of Puppets, which I think is like android robot related. As far as books I have read, I'm gonna cheat off Ginger Bibliophile and give the same answer, which is The Crucible by James Rowland, one of the Sigma Force novels. This book focuses more so on like an AI. So it's like, again, is it robots? I mean, robots like envelop AI, kind of, I think. I don't know. It's close enough. I'm not a big robot person, unless it's Bender from Futurama. That's my favorite robot. Crucible. I think it's close enough. And Ginger Bibliophile used it, so now we're twinsies. Prompt number 5 is Klaatu Barada Nikto from The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Hey, this is editing Adriana. Just wanted to jump in and say I had no idea that quote was from The Day the Earth Stood Still. I thought it was from Army of Darkness, and I had no idea that was a reference in that movie until today.
This is a novel where immortality or resurrection plays a part, and I actually have one I recently read that's like, I guess not true immortality, but like functionally immortality, and that is How to Stop Time by Matt Haig. So this is the story of a man who just ages really, really slowly. So I think there's like a couple people with this condition in this book, and I think the oldest one we meet is like 800-ish years old. So functional immortality. But we follow this man, Tom. He's had many names because he's had to like live many lives because he can't hang around too long because he doesn't age well. Well, he ages too well, I guess you could say. He ages out of areas and places. But we just kind of learn about his life and this society of people with this condition and how they operate, and it's just a very fun, good time. It includes a type of immortality. Prompt number 6, E.T. Phone Home from E.T. I like surprisingly never watched E.T. I think it was just kind of like a weird generational gap, because like my parents were like late high school, early college when E.T. came out, so they were like too old to watch it, so they never had like any sort of nostalgia associated with it. And then I wasn't born till 1994, so like by then I think kind of the hype around it had mostly died off, so I never felt pressured to watch it. So it's just kind of like an interesting generational gap. I feel that way about a lot of like 80s and 90s pop culture, because like my parents were kids and have a lot of nostalgia for like the 60s and 70s. I, have a lot of nostalgia for like late 90s, early 2000s, 2010s, because that was like kind of my formative growing up years. Late 80s, early 90s is just a total gap in like my pop culture of like music and movies and everything going on at that time, because it just didn't really have that sort of influence on me. I don't know, kind of interesting how what year you're born and your parents are born can have like an effect on the media you are interested in consuming. Anyway, I've talked way too long about the movie E.T. for a question that really doesn't even involve E.T. It's just based on that, and that is a novel with space travel. And for this, I'm gonna go with the classic Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I have the omnibus, so every time I grab it, I mean, like, it feels like way more dense than it is, but like, the first book, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, is like very tiny. It's like this much of this omnibus. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, obviously an incredible space story, comedy, good times. I really need to reread it. Maybe not all 5, but at least the first one, because it's just so fun. It's so fun. I also really love the movie. This is the one with Martin Freeman. Very good movie. I watch that from time to time. And the last prompt, number 7, I'll Be Back from The Terminator. This is a novel about time travel. I am going to go with One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. This got improperly marketed because Casey McQuiston's other work before this was Red, White, and Royal Blue, which is a very like fun LGBTQ romance, no thoughts, head empty, versus this is actually more serious. Not necessarily serious, but it's definitely more sci-fi than it is romance. And I think as much fun as the cover is, I think the cover really does it a disservice, because this is a sci-fi story with time travel. And like, we have lots of like fun characters and like some like romance and relationships and that kind of stuff, but this is definitely more sci-fi than it is romance. And I think the reason this does not get the hype it deserves is because marketing people just wanted to build off the hype of Red, White, and Royal Blue. And that is a bummer because this book is very good and I think more people should read it. So those are all of the prompts. Now it is time for me to tag some people. I will tag Jayla from lalaloveslit because she was recently like at Comic-Con for work, New York Comic-Con. And so she's kind of got like some sci-fi vibes going on right now, I'm assuming. And I also like getting content from her. So if I have to tag her in a bunch of stuff to get her to make content for me, then so be it. I will also tag a new-ish channel I've started watching. I've known about her for a while, but for some reason I just hadn't been watching her stuff. And that is Catherine Zofria. She just started a rewatch of Doctor Who, so again, she's deep in those sci-fi vibes, so just keep them on going. And then one more person I will tag, we'll do Lizzie from @Lizzie's Literary Life. I don't know, I don't think she's on a sci-fi journey right now, but like, I know she's like kind of like a math nerd, and usually there is some overlap there with like sci-fi and math people. So like, I feel like there might be a connection there. I don't know. We'll see. But those are the 3 people I tag. Let me know what your favorite piece of sci-fi media is. And thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next video.